So I grew up in a small village called Impa, which is in the border of Manipur, Assam, and Nagaland. My entire family, we migrated to the district headquarters, Tamenglong, which is about 50 kilometers. We walked on foot in the year 1989 to stay here and go for our schooling. So that is how we started our journey. My family, we are 3 brothers and 4 sisters. My father was a primary school teacher. My mom, who never went to school, was a homemaker. So it was not an easy journey. And out of these 7 children, 6 of us graduated from Delhi University, including I graduated from St. Stephen's. My younger brother and sister graduated from Hindu College. So what I mean to say through this is my parents, they gave their best irrespective of, when I got into the Indian Revenue Service in 2008, for which I wrote again, to get into the IAS, when my father retired, his salary was only 8,000 rupees. So that was a very, very difficult journey we undertook, yet we never gave up. My parents, they gave their best. My father was not only a school teacher, but he was a carpenter. He would go from house to house, constructing houses. So that's why for children, including myself, my brothers, we used to follow my father in every holidays. We will go and help him. We will wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, go and carry firewood, come back at 6 a.m., brush up, wash up, and study and go to school. I remember in some holidays, we used to follow my mom to go and break stones, the concretes. In fact, some of the school buildings here in my district headquarters has lots of concretes broken by us. And I'm extremely happy to say that today I'm heading the district as their deputy commissioner. That's a satisfaction I get. So I will not dwell so much into the past. So how and what inspires me to be an IAS is very clear. So that's what I keep telling all the aspirants wherever I'm invited to give a talk to encourage them, to give them tips for the IAS interviews. So what I told them is very clear. To be an IAS, you should have a reason. You should have a very, very strong reason why you want to be in the IAS. Until and unless you cannot find that passion and a reason why you want to be in the IAS, you may get through the service because you're bright, because your background is good, but you will not find so much pleasure when you actually start the work. So what I tell the young folks is, if you want to be in the IAS, have the passion, have a very strong reason why you want to be in the IAS. See, why I want to be in the IAS is very clear. I grew up from this place. I had walked this road several times on foot. I remember walking with my relatives, walking with my villagers, not being able to reach our village in a day. We used to sleep over in some villages. All our legs would be swollen because we walk on foot. I remember one day my journey with my dad, we slept under a very big rock because we thought we could reach the village. We crossed through the middle village. We could not reach the village, my village. So, it was too dark and I could not walk anymore. So we slept under a big rock that night without food. I have seen enough struggle growing up as a child. Sometimes our parents could not afford to pay the fees. Difficult. When I was in college in Delhi, our parents could not send money in time. When I was in Shillong, I remember we used to have just one meal a day for 3 days. because my parents could not send money on time. My elder brother, since he could not afford those bus tickets to go through Guwahati and come to Imphal, he has to go through Assam side, Qatar side, and come walking to my district to take some money from my parents. So all of these experiences has only confided on me the determination just to reaffirm myself that I have to be in the IAS if I want to bring some changes and change the lives of people who are still struggling like the way I did while growing up. So the reason was very clear, and that's how after I remember very specifically when I was on my third standard, we used to do a parade mass parts for 15 August. It's a really muddy ground. We used to walk there as a kid. I just have one pair of uniform. All our uniforms would be soaked, shoes would be torn, because we do mass parts there on that ground. So I asked the principal of my school, whom are we saluting after the parade, during the parade? We used to salute the deputy commissioner. He used to hoist a flag. So I asked the principal, who is this person? He said, he's the deputy commissioner who can bring a lot of changes, who can bring a lot of things. Since then, the name of deputy commissioner, IAS officer, got imprinted on my mind. And as I grew up, it got more and more emboldened on me, imprinted on me, the reason why I want to be in the IAS. So after my after I completed my high school here in my own town, I went down, studied 11 and 12 at St. Edmunds. Then I went to St. Stephen's in Delhi, and there was no turning back. There were other, lots of tempting things to do, but I say nothing doing. So I went straight to write the UPSC. And here I am. I got it. And the most satisfying thing is today we are developing a ground, the ground which I used to walk 20 years back as a school kid. In 2017, when I came as a deputy commissioner, I was hoisting a flag. It was raining so much. I spoke for 1.5 hours. I gave such a speech, that made a lot of people cry. I promised to the children there who were walking on the same muddy ground that we're going to change the face of this ground. And I'm glad to tell you that we're now, maybe another 15 days, if the pandemic goes, the children here will walk on the dry ground even if it rains. So that's the type of satisfaction this job has brought me. The passion, the commitment that I had to be in the service, irrespective of whatever crisis that I have to go through, the hardship that I have to go through, it really doesn't matter because the passion was so strong. The determination that I had, studying for 10, 14 hours a day, sometimes in a hot summer sun in Delhi, staying on a fifth floor of the building because the rent was the cheapest, and staying in a outskirt of the city, like say Nehru Bihar, Gandhi Bihar, you name it, because the rent were the cheapest, staying there, studying there, with just a fan. We did not have money to buy AC or cooler. But still then, none of that matters because the zeal to be there in the service was so strong. And here I am today working for the last 12, 13 years. And it's such a pleasure being in the service, being able to deliver little things that, I long for to see as a child, I'm able to deliver today. So I think that sums up my journey.